Suburbia. Headquarters of Antares, Ohio branch, February 13th, 8 a.m. One of the walls of the spacious conference room is taken up by a big screen. It displays images from a similar room located nearly 500 miles away, creating the impression of looking into a huge mirror. At the end of the table, you can see the figure of a grizzled and wrinkled man sitting in a wheelchair. He has been discussing current affairs with the heads of individual departments for 15 minutes, until at last he turns to you. Finally, I welcome the branch in Cleveland, which has recently started to represent the agency's interests in the Midwest. I won't take any more of your time. I give the floor to Director Rowland, he adds with a smile. Thank you, Director Delaware, says a beaming Olivia Rowland, your immediate supervisor. Yesterday evening, the local police station received a call reporting the death of a young woman. The person reporting the finding, John Smitty, claimed that he had found the woman's body in the house on 602 Dawnview Street. The door was wide open, so he looked inside and then called 911. Our colleagues from the police went to the scene and confirmed what the witness reported. They secured the area and the forensic scientists have been working there since this morning. According to the preliminary information, the victim was shot with a gun. It also came to our attention that a couple of years back, this address was linked to another case, a fire that caused the death of a married couple and the sudden disappearance of their daughter. The case was highly publicized for a while, but then suddenly all grew quiet and died out. That's why Antares was asked to help with this case. Maybe the murder is somehow linked to the fire and the disappearance of the girl. Investigating team, please deliver a report in 2 days. So preparing the case, we add 3 authority tokens to the token pool. So let's put, just write a number 3 on there. So
all right,
how many.
So 3 tokens.
Okay. Find out who murdered the woman, discover the motive, and determine if there are any connections to the fire from the past. The investigation team has 3 full days to solve the case and prepare the preliminary report. The stress limit for this case is 3.
Ooh.
Okay, so put a 3 there as well.
Okay, so
where do you think you want to start?
So John Smitty was the person who found?
Yeah, John Smitty.
Okay, the person reporting the finding, John Smitty.
Mm-hmm.
He had found the woman's body. The door was wide open, so he looked inside, then called 911. Okay, so I have a feeling that while this could just be just like an onlooker who happened to be passing by the house, I do think it is important to get testimony from the alleged first person who saw the body. Where is our car right now? Is in Richmond Police Department? Is that correct?
Oh, it says start your new day here.
Oh, okay. We're at headquarters. All right, so it's 8 a.m. right now, and we're at headquarters. So, I mean, do you want to do field work? Because 601 and 602 both have John Smitty and the crime scene. Because there's nothing we can do at headquarters right now, so we're going to have to be moving the car.
Oh, whoa. Investigators get 1 stress for each hour of overtime work. That's really cool.
Okay, so looks like our hours are 8 to 4.
So we do 8 to 4, and then it goes to the next day. So we have three whole days. Interesting. Okay.
Cool. So I'm thinking that because we have 2 options for field work, both interviewing John Smitty and crime scene, to save time moving the car lot, maybe we should just start off with those 2?
Yeah.
Yeah?
So let's go to field work.
All right, so we're going to field work. Mm-hmm. So it takes an hour.
Yep. All right, so we're doing the interrogation of John Smitty, which is 6:01. Do our 2 hours.
Good point. So right now it's 11 a.m. on our first day.
And we are interviewing John Smitty.
John Smitty. The weather in Cleveland hasn't been particularly kind to us this year. The nasty cold February forecast keeps the whole city in shackles of darkness. You cover the distance between the parking lot and the cafe at a fast pace and go inside. You are welcomed by the pleasant warmth and the smell of freshly ground coffee. You sit at a table near the window, order a black coffee, and go through your phone while waiting patiently for Smitty. A couple of minutes pass, then the door opens, letting in the cold February air. A young man wearing a Batman sweater looks around with a somber face. A moment later, he moves towards you. He hesitantly slides the chair out, sits down, and mutters a faint "morning." You get straight to the point. "Why did you go to the house?" He looks out the window and says nothing. "Why did you go to the house?" you persisted. "What were you looking for? Did you kill her?" That's terrible questioning for a cop. "No, it's not like that," he finally says. "I'm not a murderer." "Then what happened there?"
Okay. So we can read questioning 601.
Okay. You look at John expectantly. "Okay, you can sometimes get some stuff in this place. I went there to see who was around. Then I found the dead girl there. What exactly did you find? She was lying on the floor in a pool of blood, twisted in a strange way. There were overturned furniture around her. You could see where there had been an altercation. I took off real fast. Later it dawned on me that someone might have seen me. Besides, my fingerprints are there. So I turned myself in to anticipate any questions as a witness and not as a murderer. How'd you get inside? Normally, I go through the back doors. They haven't been locked for years. Did you know the victim? John looks at his hands for a while. A trace of sadness passes across his face. You will check it anyway. Yes, I knew Susan. When she moved in, we went out for a while. She was interrogated when I got busted for possession, but she was clean. She seemed like a good girl, but she later broke up with me when she started becoming interested in Richards, the basketball player. I didn't keep in touch with her after that, and now she's dead. Could someone have been there before you? Well, you could meet various people there. As I said, sometimes you could get some shit there. Okay.
So this is...
So John Smitty dated Susan. So now we know the victim's name.
like a drug house or something?
Apparently. Okay, so they dated. So now we have another person of interest.
Richards is the new
Richards.
boyfriend. Basketball player.
So so there's two further leads that come with this line of questioning. We can check the personal files of Tom Richards.
Oh, so his name is Tom Richards.
All right.
And
We can case file for John arrest, number 621 at the courthouse.
we can choose to dig deeper, so we could question about his contacts in the neighborhood. He seems pretty important.
I think he seems important, but we only have two of those, and so right now it's day one, so I'm gonna mark that. We're on day one. I mean, we're here.
And if we choose not to do it, we can't come back later. And do
Okay,
it.
let's just spend this token and question him about his contacts and the neighborhood.
Okay, so let's do that. So we
So 601B.
let's write down. We wrote down our next leads. Okay.
Check the personal files.
Question about his contacts and the neighborhood. Okay, Johnny, it's clear you're not telling the truth. You knew exactly who you were going to meet there. Your dealer, right? John fidgets in the chair. Then he explains slowly. I sometimes met various people there. They're usually all right if you're not up to something. Sometimes I took some stuff from them, but it was not a big deal, only for private use, for recreation. But I'd rather they didn't know I'm talking about it, because still, I wouldn't trust them with everything. Okay, we can agree that your name will not come up in any way if you give us some contact information on these guys. I feel like I'm going to regret this, but I'm here to cooperate with you, right? You smile crookedly. Smitty is a young guy, and he clearly doesn't know he's in for more serious problems. They were from Johansson. Steve Johansson, right? He is known to the police. Yeah, they usually walk around the neighborhood and deal with people who've got the dough and don't cause problems. Okay, thanks, Johnny. We'll be in touch. Don't leave town. And keep a low profile. Who knows where Johansson has his moles? You are satisfied to see that Smitty turns pale and gulps. Okay, so we unlocked, checked Johansson's personal files. Bring Steve Johansson, the drug dealer, in for interrogation, number 612, headquarters.
So 612.
We have some leads to follow up
Okay.
on, so we can do...
So we have two personal files we can read, one
So
on
let's
Tom
go ahead and read
Richards and
those.
one on Steve Johansson.
Just get our information. So name at Tom
Richards.
Richards.
And look, there's a picture.
Suave basketball player. Okay, he was born in 1979, so they're a
He's
little older than that.
6'6". Wow, he's tall.
Small scar
Scar
on
on his forehead. Oh,
Okay.
tattoo on right arm.
He's a troublemaker.
No, he's a cool guy. He's just like basketball players love tattoos, maybe.
Former NBA player, interrogated as a witness with regard to the fire. Oh, he was interrogated with that too, huh?
Interesting.
Okay.
Okay.
Known connections.
His wife. Oops.
Okay, so we'll
So at Melissa Richards.
just open up her stuff too. All right. So we don't have much information about him, but we've got the scar and the tattoo, which could be identifying information. That seems like pretty important. And he's tall. So someone's going to have like eyewitness testimony at some point. We saw a tall man with a tattoo or something. All right, so let's do our further leads. So we can check into the fire.
So it's kind of.
Is that the same house?
Yes, it was the same house where a young couple died and their daughter went missing. And you know what's interesting?
And then later, more people move in, and someone else is murdered there.
Allegedly.
Maybe nobody was living there. Maybe they
Yes.
just were visiting it as like a
Drug spot.
house or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
But it's kind of interesting that Tom Richards is being brought up both with the case that's currently going with the house.
Like maybe he met this girl at this house. Like they both went there to like get the stuff, and they happened to like meet there, and that's how they like got to know each other.
Maybe he.
Because the way this kid Smitty talks about this guy is very like almost like they're friendly, or like they knew each other, because he refers to him as Richards like by his last name.
Yeah.
Which gives me the sense that they're like kind of chummy, maybe.
Oh, I kind of got the idea that he's afraid of him.
Or he's afraid of these drug dealers.
Yeah.
Pretty clearly, this like
Yeah.
Johansson.
Okay. So now we have the files.
Okay, so we can read about the files about the fire that's at the police station, so 614, or we can interrogate Tom Richards, number 608 at the headquarters. All right.
So it seems kind of interesting to me that Tom Richards has some sort of connection to the previous house fire that happened at this address. He was the boyfriend of the victim, even though he's married. So I feel like he seems like very, very important. But unfortunately, at the headquarters right now, our only options are to interrogate Tom or interrogate Steve. So,
Do you want to do a little like mind map here?
wow, that's exactly what the creators of this game want us to do.
So I'm just gonna put some initials here. So we're gonna do what was the name of the woman that was murdered? We don't know. What is it?
Susan.
Do we get a last
Susan.
name or no?
Nope, just Susan.
No last name. Okay.
So I also definitely want to see. I think it's really important to do the
So we'll do
crime scene
Susan,
autopsy.
victim, and I'm gonna put a little arrow next to
Tom Richards,
Tom Richards.
boyfriend.
So TR is boyfriend. And then there's another connection to
Melissa
JS, the Smitty, who is like ex-boyfriend. And then he also has a connection to this house fire.
Yes.
Like he was there.
And then also
And then there's a wife,
Melissa Richards.
MR. TR's wife. All right, so, and then we've got a connection to Steve, this guy who's like a dealer, deals to Smitty
Johannes.
and potentially Susan as well.
Yeah, Steve Johansson.
You might find out
Johannes.
that,
I'm just gonna keep
Yeah, just
making up
whatever
his
the
name.
hell his name is.
Anyway, right now we are at fieldwork. The other thing right now we could do at fieldwork without moving our car and wasting an hour is the crime scene, which I'm very curious to see.
Which we had planned to do.
Yeah.
Before we do anything else, let's read this information that they gave us about Melissa.
Let's do it.
Because this doesn't take any time.
Oh, Melissa, you're like a babe.
All right, so tattoo on the lower back, tattoo on left arm. These are going to be important, I feel like.
Yeah.
So he had
we have access to this.
Tom had a scar.
On his forehead.
Scar on forehead and tattoo on right arm. Okay, she has
a tattoo on her left arm and on her lower back.
Tattoo lower. That's as far as we're going to go today. Hopefully this gave you a good sense of how it plays and whether this might be a game for you. If you'd like to hear our thoughts on Detective, check out our review linked in the description. The case files can be found in the description as well if you'd like to play through the rest of the case. If you found the video helpful or interesting, don't forget to give us a like and subscribe for our future board game content. Thanks for watching.